Hi everyone, my name is Amelia. Today we'll be going through a hamstring dancer peak pose class. It'll be fun. We're gonna start in our seated position, just taking some big deep breaths. You can feel free to close your eyes or come to a soft gaze. Getting big deep breaths in through the nose and out through that mouth. Breathing into the space between the ribs, into that low back, into your belly, even down into that pelvic floor. And then exhale all the air out. And then inhale a big deep breath, filling everything up, holding at the top for just a second. And then get one more last sip of air. Hold it. And then let it all go. Maybe set an intention for class today. It can be challenging doing yoga at home rather than in a studio. So put your phone aside, shut the door, tell the kids and the family to just pause for a minute. This is for you. We'll get one more last big deep breath at it, exhaling all the air out. And then you can flutter those eyes open and we'll come to some body circles, cat-cows, wiggles, anything that might feel good. Moving in the other direction. And then we'll come back center. We're gonna inhale, lift the heart up towards the sky, looking towards the ceiling. Exhale, fold forward, rounding the spine, looking down towards that belly button, unrolling everything back up. Exhale, round forward. Inhale, lift the chest. And then we'll come back to that flat back. We'll bring both arms up overhead, reaching towards the ceiling. Big breath in here. And then exhale, drop that right hand down to the ground. Left hand reaches up and over. Big breath in, coming back center. Exhale, left hand plants, right hand reaches. Inhale, center one more time each side here. Exhale, right hand down, left hand reaches. Inhale, up tall. Exhale, left hand down, right hand reaches. And then we'll bring everything back up. Hands come back down to heart center. Big belly breath in here, and we're gonna exhale all of the air out, twisting over towards that right side. Taking a big deep breath in here, and then on that exhale, keeping the hands where they are, exhale deeper into that twist. Nice, front hand plants on that front knee, back hand reaches back behind you, chest is up nice and tall here. Beautiful. Both hands can come back to heart center. We'll twist all the way back forward. Big belly breath in here. Exhale, twisting towards the left. Front hand plants, back hand reaches. Chest lifts up nice and tall here. Bring those hands back to heart center and then come all the way back forward. And now we're gonna rock and roll coming forward into our tabletop position. If you'd like to grab a blanket up under those knees, you are more than welcome to. We're gonna be here in our tabletop position, just rocking side to side, taking some body circles, cat-cows, anything that feels good before we get moving and grooving. All right, then we're gonna come back to that flat back, right leg's kicking out back behind us while left hand reaches up out in front of you. And we're lifting the leg, lifting the arm, and then we're drawing that elbow in towards that knee and knee into elbow and then back out and in and out. In one more time here. And then everything back out. Dropping that hand back down to the ground. That toe can plant for just a second. And you're gonna grab one of your blocks. That block is gonna get wedged right in between your glute and your heel here. So that block's going in between that right heel and that right glute. In order for the block to stay here, you're gonna really have to pull the heel up towards the glute. Takes a little bit to play with where it sits. All right, now once that block is secure, we're gonna plant that foot up towards the ceiling and then draw that knee in towards heart center and then back out and in and out. Oh, I'm losing my block. It's okay if you lose your blocks, it always happens. Lifting it up and then down. If you would like, you can add moving out to the side here. And then in and back, forth, back, forth. Right, now we're planting that foot back up to the ceiling. Then our left hand's reaching out long. We're gonna draw that elbow into knee, knee into elbow here. And then lift all the way up. And then you're gonna take this left hand reaching around, grabbing onto that right foot. Let the block drop out of the way here. Grabbing onto that foot, pulling the hand into foot and foot into hand. Letting the chest open up high. Good, hold it here. This is your baby dancer. And then everything can drop back down. We'll bring those knees out wide, toes come together and press back into our child's pose. Getting big breaths in and out here. Good, then we can go ahead and rock forward back into our tabletop. This time left foot's kicking out back behind us and right hand is coming forward. Holding it here and then elbow into knee and knee into elbow. Lifting up and then in, up and in. Then reaching everything back out, right hand plants. We're grabbing onto that block. And then that block, again, is wedging right in between that heel and that glute. Holding here, planting down through those hands and kicking that foot up towards the sky. And then drawing the knee in towards the chest and up and back. My block is already slipping. Good, squeezing the heel up towards the glute to keep that block where it is. You can play with moving the block out to the side or keeping the movement just up and down. Maybe you're losing your block and that's okay. Me too. Nice. All right, then we're gonna kick that foot back up towards the ceiling. This time, right hand comes out in front of us. We're gonna drop that block out of the way, reaching around, grabbing onto that foot with our right hand. Chest is lifting high. Thinking about pushing hand into foot and foot into hand here. Nice work. Beautiful baby dancers. All right, then you can go ahead and drop everything down. We'll take knees out wide, toes come together, and press back into your child's pose. Again, getting big, deep breaths here. Allowing the body to just slow down for just a second. We're still warming up. Nice. Now we can go ahead and rock everything back forward onto those hands and knees. Those hands are going to take a baby step more forward than where you would be in your tabletop. And then you're tucking those toes and pressing those hips up to the sky. This is your down dog. First down dog of class, probably most of y'all's first down dog of the day. So take a second, walk it out, bending and straightening the knees. Thinking about dropping the heels deeper into the mat. My heels aren't anywhere near the mat. But just thinking about dropping them closer gets a nice stretch across the back side of my legs. Good. Now, we're gonna look towards the front of our mat and you can walk, hop, jump, step, however you would like to get there to the middle of the mat, coming to our forward fold. Taking a second here, folding forward, maybe even grabbing opposite elbows with the opposite hands, rocking side to side. Good, then you can let those hands go if you opted to take that option. And then we're gonna get a big inhale, flat back. Chest rises, halfway lift. Exhale, fold forward. And then inhale, those arms reach all the way up towards the sky. Maybe even bringing fingers together and those pointer fingers facing up tall. And then we can side bend over to the right. Come back center. Exhale, side bend to the left. Inhale into center. Exhale, right. Inhale, center. One more time. Exhale, left. Inhale, center. Now we can take those hands and almost bring them like they're in our back pockets of our jeans. We're gonna bring them here. Elbows are drawing together as chest lifts. And we're bringing a baby arch into the spine. Coming to a back bend here. Lifting the chest high to the sky, almost as if there was a string attached to your sternum. And strings all the way attached to the ceiling and you're trying not to break it. Lifting higher and higher. And then we can fold everything forward, sliding the hands down the back side of the legs. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. And then inhale, rise all the way up. And those hands can come to heart center. All right, right foot is stepping forward. Left toes come back behind us. We're here in our crescent lunge. Arms are lifting high to the sky. Good. Now we're gonna exhale, drop those hands back behind our low back. They should be here. And as you let the hands drop down lower and lower, the shoulder blades are pulling together and the chest is lifting higher and higher. This is another baby back bend. And then you can round all the way forward. Maybe the hands stay on the low back or maybe they lift up, coming into your humble warrior. Beautiful warriors. Then staying folded forward, we're gonna let those hands go and roll everything up nice and slow. Good. You should still have a good strong bend in that front knee. We're gonna go ahead and rotate the back toes down. So back foot's now at a 45-degree angle. Front toes are facing forward. We have a good strong bend in this front knee. This is your warrior one. Now, we're gonna straighten out this front leg. Those hips are pulling towards the back of the room. Arms shoot out back behind you. This is your pyramid pose. So you should feel a nice stretch across the back side of this front leg. If you would like to stay here with the arms tall, reaching back behind you, if you would like to round all the way forward, that's always an option. You can also opt to find blocks here in front of you while rounding forward for a little more support to bring the ground a little closer to you. Lots of different options here. Wherever your pyramid feels good is where you can be. All right, now wherever you are, we're gonna roll up nice and slow and then planting through this front foot, back knees coming in towards heart center for our three-legged Tadasana. Now, we're gonna reach right hand to the outside edge of our thigh, this floating thigh, and then left hand's reaching back behind us, coming into a balancing twist. Holding here, planting through base of big toe, base of pinky toe, and heel for that balanced triangle. Staying nice and strong. Good, and then we can go ahead and come back center, keeping the knee where it is. And now we're gonna take that foot, and we're gonna plant that foot just back behind us. Like we're trying to plant a footprint on the wall behind us. And then you can go ahead and bring your your right hand out, almost like you're holding a cup of soup. And then you're taking that left hand, wrapping it around, grabbing onto that left foot. Good. This is your dancer starting position. And now we're just gonna kind of play with rocking forward and rocking back. So we're not going into full dancer here. I just want you to play with rocking a little bit forward, maybe even reaching right hand high to the sky, and then rocking back. Getting a little bit of balance challenge, playing with pressing foot into hand and hand into foot. Good, then you can go ahead and release this foot down to the ground. We'll shake it out, tap it out. Those legs are working hard. Beautiful work. Now we're inhaling those arms up overhead, and then exhale, fold it forward. Plant those hands down on your mat and step back into your down dog. Taking a second, walking out the dog, bending and straightening the knees. Now you're exhaling forward into your high plank, dropping either onto the knees or not, and then lowering all the way to the ground. We're gonna play with a little more back bend stuff here. So those hands are gonna shoot out back behind you, palms face down. And keeping the feet where they are, the legs aren't doing anything quite yet. We're gonna roll everything up off the mat. Pinkies are pulling together, chest is lifting, shoulder blades pull together. And then everything rounds back down. This time we're gonna play with the legs. Inhaling, lifting the legs up off the ground, squeezing the glutes, squeezing the back side of the body. Holding here. Keeping the legs where they are. Now we're gonna roll the chest up off the mat. Pinkies and shoulder blades pull together. Chest is lifting high to the sky. Holding here. Big deep breaths. And then exhale all the way down. Good, letting everything rest. Maybe bringing those feet up and rocking side to side. Good. Then we can go ahead and drop those feet back down. Those hands are coming right up next to our chest. We're pressing all the way back up into that down dog. Walking it out here. Good. Now we're walking those hands up to meet the feet, or the feet up to meet the hands. And then we can roll up nice and slow, one vertebra at a time. Wonderful. Now, left foot steps forward, right foot comes back behind us. We are high up on those toes. Inhale, arms are reaching up overhead. And then we exhale, dropping the hands and interlacing them at our low back. Again, as we pull the shoulder blades together, the hands are dropping down the low back and chest is lifting high. This is your exalted warrior. Good. Then we can round everything forward. Nose comes to knee. Maybe the hands are lifting up off the low back as you fold it forward. Maybe not. Stay strong here. Good. Now you can let everything go here, rounding everything forward, then rolling up nice and slow. All right, now we're gonna turn those toes ever so slightly out and plant the heel down on the ground. So we have 45-degree angle in the back foot, front toes are facing all the way forward. Those arms are reaching up nice and high. And then we're straightening that front knee, kicking those hips back towards the back wall. And then those hands can come out to the sides, reaching back behind you for your pyramid pose. Both hip points are doing their best to face forward towards the ground. Good. Again, you can stay here up nice and tall. You can round all the way forward, or you can come up onto blocks. Lots of different options for you. You should get a nice stretch across the back side of that leg. Good. Strong pyramids. And then we can go ahead and round everything forward and then roll up nice and slow. All right, this time we're planting down through that left leg. Right knee comes in towards heart center for our single leg Tadasana. Good. Now left hand reaches around to the outside edge of that thigh. And then our right hand's reaching back behind us. Chest is opening towards our right side as the hips face forward. Again, we're using this knee as just a place, not necessarily to hold on to or to pull, just kind of a touching point. Good. And then everything can come back center. We'll bring that left hand out like we're holding a bowl of soup. Our right foot kicks back behind us and plants on the wall behind us. And then right hand reaches around, grabbing onto that foot. Oh, my balance is challenged on this side. Good. And then we can go ahead and reach left hand high to the sky, and we'll play with hinging forward into that dancer pose, and then coming out of it and back forth, hinging forward and out and forward and out. Good. Now next time you're forward, we're gonna hold it and come to our full dancer pose. Of course, in any of our balance postures throughout class, you're more than welcome to grab onto a wall or use any assist that feels good. All right, now we're here in our full dancer, pressing hand into foot, foot into hand, hinging forward. Both hips are facing down towards the ground. We have a little bend in that front knee. Spine is nice and long. Good. Now you're in dancer. Then we can go ahead and drop it back down. We'll shake it out. Y'all are working hard today. All right. Now, right foot plants this time. Right hand comes out to the side like you're holding a bowl of soup. Left foot kicks up. Left hand reaches around, grabbing onto that foot. We already did our rocks on this side, so now we're just gonna rock all the way forward into that full dancer pose. Getting a nice, generous bend into that front knee, pushing hand into foot and foot into hand. Spine is nice and long through the crown of your head, all the way, down to your tailbone. Good. And then we can go ahead and drop it back down. We'll shake it out. Inhale those arms up overhead. Big deep breath. And then exhale all the air out as we fold it forward. Hanging out here for just a second. Maybe rocking side to side. Grabbing opposite elbows. Good. Then we can inhale, come to that halfway lift. Exhale, fold it forward. All right, then we're gonna come to the long edge of our mat, allowing the feet to come out nice and wide. Inhale, arms are reaching up overhead, and again, folding forward here. Those feet can be out as wide as you would like them to be, or as close together as you would like them to be. You can play with bending into one knee and then the other, and back forth. Lots of different variation here. We're starting to cool it down and slow it down. All right, then we're gonna roll everything up nice and slow. Hands are reaching high to the sky. This is star pose. I like to bring my feet in a little bit closer. You might like to as well. And those toes are coming out wide, inhaling, arms up overhead. Elbows pull down towards hips, goddess. Just for a little extra heat. Holding here. Good, and then everything reaches up. We're gonna cartwheel those hands down to frame our front foot, planting them down on the ground and stepping back into our down dog. We can go ahead and drop down onto those knees. Toes come together, knees come out wide, pressing the hips back into our child's pose. Good. Holding here, getting some big deep breaths in and out. In our child's pose, we can go ahead and walk those hands all the way over to the right side of your mat. And then they can walk back center, and we can walk all the way over to the left side. Good, then everything comes back forward. We'll rock everything up nice and tall into our tabletop position, and then lower all the way down to the ground, onto our bellies. Feet can kick up towards the sky, and we'll go ahead and rock side to side. You can bring one cheek down to the ground, or maybe the forehead. Rocking side to side, letting the hips come up off the ground here. Good, then those feet can come all the way out long. We'll go ahead and bring that left knee out to the side, and then we'll plant down through that left hand, reaching right hand all the way through, grabbing onto that foot. grabbing onto that knee. And then we'll open up through our left arm. Shoulder blades are reaching towards the ground. Coming into your supine twist here. I know, a little funky way to get there. Maybe getting some snap, crackle, pops. We're still getting big, deep breaths in and out. Good. And then we can go ahead and come back center. Let that leg go. Come all the way flat to our bellies. This time, right knee comes out to the side. We're planting through that right hand. Left hand reaches through, grabbing onto that knee. And then right hand opens. Shoulder blades are pulling to the ground. Holding here. Getting big, deep breaths in. And on every exhale, seeing if you can get deeper into the stretch. You can go ahead and come back center, bringing right knee back center, and then press all the way up into our tabletop. We're gonna swing those legs out to the side and drop down onto that booty. Those legs can come out nice and long, and we're gonna move that meat out of the way so you feel nice and strong on those sit bones. If you would like to come seated up on a blanket, that is definitely an option. We're gonna come to some seated forward folds, which is an intense hamstring, back of the leg stretch. So sometimes being up on the blanket can help a little bit. We're gonna inhale those arms high to the sky, and then exhale, fold it forward, hinging at the hips to start. That's as far as I can go, and then rounding deeper. Holding here. Allowing ourselves to sit and sink into the sticky spots. Not the most comfortable pose, but it's good for us. Good, then you can roll everything up, planting down through the feet, scooching a little bit forward so that now you're in the center of your mat, and we're just lowering all the way down to our backs. Good. You're gonna wanna go ahead and grab on your blocks. And then we're gonna lower all the way down. My block was not in reach, maybe yours was. Now we're planting down through those feet, squeezing the glutes high to the sky, holding here. Finding a little bit of activation in those glutes, making them burn just a little extra. And then you can go ahead and slide this block right up underneath that sacrum. So it's not quite the low back, not quite the tailbone, just kind of that space in between. You can play with which setting you would like your block to be on. Mine here is on the lowest, or you can flip it and be on the middle setting. Whatever feels good. Right, those legs can walk out long, finding some length on the front side of the body, the hip flexors. Or you can kick those feet up high to the sky. This time those feet are making a footprint mark on the ceiling overhead. Coming into an inversion. Or maybe you just want the feet to stay planted down on the mat. That works too. Holding here, allowing the body to slow down, allowing the breath to deepen, and your mind to relax. Right, you can go ahead and plant down through those feet, squeezing those glutes high to the sky, and then moving that block out of the way. Lowering all the way down onto your back, and then drawing those knees in towards heart center. Rocking side to side here, back and forth. Maybe you even bring soles of the feet together, knees out wide for bound angle, or maybe you kick the feet up to the sky, reaching through the inside of those knees and around to grab onto the outside edge of those feet for happy baby. Or maybe you're just taking any last final movements that you would like before Shavasana. Whatever the body is needing, craving. Good. All right, we'll bring those knees back in towards heart center, drawing them in nice and close. Maybe you play with lifting up onto the shoulder blades and finding some last bit of tension. And then letting all of it go, lowering down to the ground. Arms reach up overhead. Feet are out nice and long. And I just want you to point those toes towards the bottom of your mat and reach those hands up overhead. And let that go and come to whatever final resting posture you would like for class today. Whether that be back to your supported bridge. Maybe you want those blocks to sit up underneath those knees for a little bit of support. You have lots of different options here. We'll be here for a couple minutes. Getting big, deep breaths, allowing the body to relax, the breath to deepen, and the mind to quiet. You can go ahead and bring your attention back to your body, back to your breath, back to your space, wiggling the fingers and toes, maybe creating some wrist and ankle circles. And when you're ready, rolling over to your favorite side. Taking a breath there. And then coming all the way up to your seated position. Hands can come to heart center. Thank you for practicing with me today. Again, my name is Amelia. This was your hamstring dancer class. Amazing work. Namaste.